change this real quick. Um, Alright, being a little weird. There we go. Okay. This is the second actual Wield game in Wield World. I'm Michael, and I am GMing. If you want to introduce yourselves, your character, and the wielder that you are playing in this session. It's Mike, if you want to start with you.
All right. I'm Mike. I'll be Mike as opposed to Michael, who was winning the game. I'm playing the Vacha that I'm playing. The artifact that I'm playing is Aridu, a powered staff, wielding the power over the domains of animals, plants, and the element water. And this staff's goal is to create a new garden of paradise. And the wielder who I'll be playing, I'm actually not sure which wielder I'm playing. I'm a little...
I think you have the same one as last time. Mufthesti?
Oh, okay. Oh, great. Yeah. I'm playing Mufthesti. She is... she is the chiefess of the Berserk Stag, and she is wielding Shirako, an empowered tattoo, who you'll meet in a little bit. And her destiny is to conquer the Red-Eyed Tribe. She has just achieved that. So where fate takes her from here is anyone's guess.
And Jim?
Cool. I am Jim Crocker, and I am playing, my Vacha is Shirako, the living phoenix tattoo that controls the wind and fire. And I am, as a wielder, I am playing poor hard-luck Drazluth, who wields Aridu the staff, and we're going to see whether Aridu the staff can change his luck that he has been having so far, which has not been great, but I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so last time I know we'd had the another wielder had come upon some of the Red-Eye tribe and their confederation coming down towards where you were living. And then Mufthesti essentially flew in. And that's one thing also, do make sure whenever you grant a power, go ahead and make a note of what the power is on the wielder sheet, because I noticed, I think one of them is on Mufthesti, but we have neither on Drazluth. So those are good to put in there just so you know which ones you have available to you so far. You've got all the correct checks and stuff in there. But yeah, they had come in and basically caused a good deal of chaos and then offered the survivors a place among her people. Called them the Mynad, was how that ended. And Drazluth, had escaped from being held in the place of sacrifice. Then Young Shadow Warrior came after and then summoned snakes and then trapped them in plants. Before Drazluth was like, see ya, I'm out of here.
So Mike, can you tell me exactly which powers it is that you granted to Drazluth?
Remember, we controlled the plants.
You're muted, Mike.
All right, let's start with you've got Savage Tongues, which is a level 1 power.
Okay.
I think you have Call the Wild, which is a level 2 power. That lets you summon small animals. Let's see, what else do we
Call the Wild?
Yeah. And I don't think I gave you any water abilities. Did I give you any plant? Yes, I did give you plant stuff. No, you don't. A level 2 power, Touching the Green, which lets you animate small plants. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We've accounted for 5 points of power. Does that match up with what you have? What's marked on the character sheet?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, there's more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 worth.
Let's see. What else is there? Oh, I bet there was control the swarm. It's a level 6 power, control the swarm, which lets you control a group of small animals.
Yeah, that's hence the monkey army.
Yeah,
Monkey
which leaves
army.
5 points left. Unaccounted for.
No, that's it. If control the swarm
that is
a level 6 power, and then we're good.
Oh, great. There it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 3, 3 is 6. 6 and 4 is 10. And 2, actually, and we've got 3 and 8, 11. I think we're short 1 point is what's going on right now. Because we have 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 and 3 is 6. 6 and 4 is 10, and 2 is 12. And what we've got here, if Savage Tongue is a level 1, Call the Wild is 2, Touching the Green is 2, Build the Swarm is 6, 8 and 3, 11. We need 1 more point worth of powers. Which presumably was the first level point power, I imagine?
I don't know if I gave the ability to talk to plants. Well, let's look at the other options.
Yeah.
I didn't give you pools of vision. You don't talk to water. So I guess by process of elimination, maybe I did give you Voice of the Green. Apparently.
Might also have been an accounting mistake.
No, that's true. I guess that's true too. Maybe. And as for myself, I know I had Fire Tongue and the Mass Flying ability. So Fire Tongue, I think that's a level 1 power. It seems like all the talking powers tend to be level 1. Yep, that's 1. And then I believe it was Air 6 is another ability. Yep, Wings of the Storm, Air 6. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, those are my powers. I've got everything accounted for on this Thusty's character sheet. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, do we lose Jim? Oh,
I'm back. So that, like my laptop, I think I probably should bring it in because it just went to sleep for no reason. Nodded off.
Just tired.
It's got, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's got what do you like narcolepsy or something. But, okay. So what did we determine?
Oh, I think he went over the ones that that he had been given.
Yes, I was making sure.
I don't know when you dropped out.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm probably. I mean, like mine is seems to be off by 1, but I think it's probably fine.
Yeah, if you just want to fix the last.
Yeah,
check.
I'll just remove a notch. That's the easiest way to do that. Okay.
Okay, in that case, if we're good, how do you feel about the proposal of skipping 50 years? Both of you kept younger than you would normally be by the magic
I think
of
that's
the Vacha by carrying it.
kind of awesome, actually, is how I feel about that.
Sure.
Okay, so at this point, I think we have Deluvia has had some time to rise up. It sounds like it's captured the Red Eye tribe and some others. We'll say that the world map is a slight bit different than it is in here. Just the fact that there's maybe like some land bridges between like Aleholt, Silvershore, and the ones next to it, or the places that will become those. Because there's supposed to be some flooding later on. So when I remove Deluvia, that'll be that little bit of that inner sea. So Deluvia has begun over the time. Like it started off with tell me how Deluvia started to grow under your tender mercies.
That's me. I guess. I guess it would.
Little both of you.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I know the first. Yeah, I recall one of the things that was going to happen after the red eyes were wiped out is the initiation of trade between the stag people and Drazlith's. No, not Drazlith's tribe, but the other character, that other tribe that
the Arctic River.
Yes, the Arctic River tribe, because they had awesome knives, cutting implements and whatnot. So I guess that would be maybe the beginning of the branching out of trade. And Jim, do you have an idea for where things could go after that?
Well, I think my oh shoot, what is my character's name again? Drazlith. I like it seems totally logical to me that Drazlith would start a religion of some kind of like animist cult or something like that. And so I kind of want like there's the tribes that have the technology and and these like great fancy knives and they're kind of building cities and all that kind of stuff, but there are swaths of wilderness and jungle and stuff like that. I think the jungle has gotten more jungly, and in the heart of the jungle is Drazlith, the Monkey King, and his army of forest animals and stuff like this who do his bidding, and and like I don't want it to be a like no one goes in the forest because if you do you get killed or anything, but like there's two distinct cultures. I think there's like the hill people and the and because we kind of set up that was sort of like they were kind of like up in the hills and the mountains and stuff like this, and so Drazlith has like the lowlands, and his cult has kind of spread out from there, and they live like without technology and close to the land and all that kind of stuff and everything, and so I think there's like it's almost like a druid society going on there.
Okay. I am Drazlith, the
yeah,
Monkey
and
King.
as Drazlith does that, Aradu would be trying to encourage young Drazlith to, since it is trying to recreate the Garden of Eden from a past age.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of,
sure.
Yeah. So it would certainly
that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it would certainly encourage your reign as the Monkey King, and would be dropping little suggestions like, wouldn't it be great if we created an awesome jungle for the monkeys to live in, and just to get you interested in the idea of cultivating wondrous forest lands that hopefully would lead to you developing the capacity to recreate the Garden of Paradise.
Yeah, that for sure.
Now, how far apart is Drazlith and because are they close geographically, Drazlith and Mephisti? Or are they really? Because I know they didn't interact at all in our last active game session.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that they're in different locations.
Well, let's take a look at our map here.
Because if we've got,
yeah, I can remember which of these lands you were at.
I had.
There's Luvia.
Oh, somewhere I had symbols that I was using previously on the map. I don't remember where I put them. I kind of like the idea that these two individuals will
Michael, I'm not sure where on the map
together.
I am. Like I see Deluvia there.
So yeah, let's see if I can find real quick, because I had a thing which I'd used in the past. Let me see if it's in this one, where it was.
I don't see any notes on Drazlith's character sheet about where.
Yeah.
Bunch of.
Started out at.
Yeah, I don't know if.
Well, we can worry about that later, I guess.
Because Because I think I know where I want
Yeah,
to
I
put
guess
them.
the important thing is we know
Like
what,
keeping them apart.
what our-
One thing it actually
what
can
our
do.
what our Wildersons
Michael,
can fix her too.
can we get you to chime in on the map on
Oh.
where I'm at on the map?
That explains what was happening there. Okay.
Welcome
So
to the
yeah,
gauntlet.
let me do this. I'm going to. I've got some stuff that will work. They're not quite correct for the thing. What I want. But they'll do. So I like the idea that these two, like the two people, might not necessarily come in contact. And the thing is, regardless of any scene we have, both of you are technically going to be in it. The nice thing about this game with two of them is even if the people themselves are fairly distant in some respects, they are still, by their nature, the players at least, are together. Okay, so I had bought I think it's this one. Okay. Some of this is... One of these seem to fit a little closer to what I like. I'll just use this. So I kind of like the idea. For Drasleth, or rather, Deluvia, where would you like Deluvia's burgeoning capital to be?
Let's see. Since we are the we are the Berserk Stags. I figure flatten the center of Deluvia, like between the L and the U.
Okay, so let's do. So name it, and do you want to call it Deluvia? Is that or is there a different name for the capital?
Let's call it. The first thing that comes to mind is Jagged Heaven. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of imagery related to stags, so we'll call it Jagged Heaven, or some term that translates into Jagged Heaven.
Okay, so we'll put Jagged Heaven there roughly. Actually, make it a little bit smaller. So somewhere like here, probably below.
Which map should I be? Oh, I should be looking at the map in World 20 because that's the live map. Yeah, so it looks good.
Okay, we'll move that to the thing layer. And I also like the idea of the Druid Society. Like Asada looks to me jungly. It's a bit darker. The other side of the mountain range and stuff are. So does that look good for where Drasleth ended up, Jim?
I'm not seeing it on the map.
So Asada would be. Sorry, it's south of Deluvia.
Oh, you know what? My screen's not wide enough to do the whole thing, so I needed to scroll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Okay. Name for the place, like the home you created?
It's so we're the Monkey Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to call it Arborea.
Okay.
Good.
Arborea, the Monkey Kingdom.
Evokes a tree name.
That's right. If I put it, this is the thing that irks me. They should have a thing you can actually still have it in the map layer, but the name appears.
That'd be nice.
That'd be super useful.
Because it's a map.
True. I mean, granted, I guess most people use these maps for other things, but like it's just useful to have that attached in there. Okay, why don't we begin?
That would be cool.
In Arborea, as far as this goes.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, in Arborea, how have you ruled? Have you done a council? How does Drasleth handle the place she is?
I think that I think I'm less a king than a judge and a warden. So it's not like I sit on a throne and issue edicts and all this kind of stuff and everything. Like the jungle does most of my work for me in terms of like keeping out invaders or, and the monkeys have a hierarchy. I understand how that works. I kind of let them go about their business. But if there's like a dispute, people will come, either like kind of the cultists who live in the jungle, or even the monkeys and like some of the smarter animals will come to me to settle their disputes, and I will kind of like roam around, and I'll also like go on like walkabouts kind of around the jungle. So I'm kind of like this like roving judge and like I say, warden. And like I'll draft people to like do projects where like, if some trees have fallen across the trail that we need to keep open for people to go from one side of the jungle to the other, I'll draft a bunch of monkeys and get some of my cultists, and we'll get that project done, and then they can go back to doing whatever it is that they were doing.
Okay.
I think I have a relatively light hand on the wheel here.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, everything you're doing sounds like good for the long term, for my Aradu's long-term plan. Getting people together, you're getting them interested in, building. Yeah.
Okay. At one point, Jor, who is one of the he's young. He tends to range fairly far afield. Like he knows Arborea itself pretty well, and sometimes goes into some trading with some of the nearby peoples, unless there's some sort of a prescription or something against that. Rushes in like just chest going like a bellows. He's clearly been running at full tilt for a bit. He kind of like almost skids into like an audience with you. He's like, Jocelyn, and kind of bows. Is that the common thing that they do?
No, like I don't need any of that stuff.
Okay.
Like I'm one of those like yeah, I know I'm the king, but you're supposed to call me by my first name. Like I maintain the fiction that I'm just a regular person.
I'm Mr. Jocelyn, but you can call me Steve.
Please, my father's my lost father. I never met as Mr. Dreslin.
Yeah.
Yes.
He comes in. He's like, there's a group of riders from the Hardhounds tribes making for the jungle at high speeds.
All right. Would you? I have a coconut here. Would you like some coconut water? Are you okay?
Please. Yeah. I saw them from up on a ridge. They.
Hey! Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Takes a moment, and you see him kind of drinks a bit of the water, and takes a moment. And
okay, now so
about a dozen of
how
them.
many? Okay. Were they armed?
Yeah, they seemed coming in. They're riding horses. Saw spears. Didn't see any. If it weren't for their colors, I wouldn't recognize them for their tribe. I didn't see any sort of symbols that they were showing, but they were sort of heading straight for the jungle, like this part of the jungle itself. This is an unusual thing because I'm guessing, except for those who are let in, they probably keep a fairly wide range from you. I'm sure stories over the decades have passed.
Anybody that wants to enter the jungle can enter the jungle freely, with the understanding that you can't bring fire, you can't bring steel, and that that when you're here, you're a subject.
Okay.
And like all the, and you have to abide by the rules such as they are. So like anybody can be here, but while you're here, you're here. You don't just like you don't like leave your country and bring your country here. When you're in the jungle, you are in the jungle, you are of the jungle, and like that's pretty much the only ironclad irrevocable rule.
Okay, so because of that, you don't often see. I mean, a lot of the tribe and stuff sort of stay away because there is that nature of it. It's unusual for them to be kind of encroaching
Oh yeah,
on your area. So
yeah. So I kind of I gently lay a hand on his shoulder, and I say, "You've done well. Thank you for telling me. This is very important. When you saw them, did they have fire or steel?"
It looked as if they had some sort of metal armor with them. I couldn't see fire; they were still at a distance. I mean, I was fairly high up.
All right. And they're traveling here on the main trail?
Actually, off of the main trail. It's the weird thing is they're coming through the country. Not a place people normally ride through. It's a little dangerous to be riding, especially at high speeds.
Those I feel I feel badly for those horses. They're probably not going to do well in that terrain, but thank you. I will go to meet them.
Okay.
Have another like
you're all always able to be a voice in Dressless ear.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm
Okay.
I'm already contemplating what I might need to do.
Have another coconut. Help yourself. Stay here and rest as long as you need to, and I'll. I'm gonna go take care of this.
Okay.
And like I always have the staff in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever sees me without it. I think at this point. So I will just go walking out. What can I do here? I think I've only got. Trying to find the right stuff here. That's Eridu. So yeah, I'll just you know what? Actually, I say, Eridu. This is do you know why they would violate our domain and break my rules like this?
Well, they're jealous of what you've created here. They want it for themselves, and these are reavers and horsemen. They don't tend to fields. They trample it. These are people who just run over the land and just scavenge it without bettering it in any way, without growing anything. They just consume and move on, feeding their herds, but without returning anything to the earth. So just imagine what they do here.
If they don't, I don't understand why they even come here if they don't understand what it means to be here.
Well,
all right,
lad. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll just so I'll just carry like Eridu and I will just chat with each other as I'm kind of just like walking out to where it is presumably that they are going to emerge from the from the brush. I'm not in any kind of hurry because they're going to get to me whether I hustle or not. So,
well, just be careful that they get to you before they get to anyone else. You've got there are a lot of lives under your refuge here. So maybe apply some direction here.
So then I nod, and I kind of hold out the staff, and I like make a couple of like sounds that sound like a macaw, like some parrots or something like that.
Mhm.
And whatever, like half a dozen birds come flitting out from the tops of the trees down to the leaves to land on my staff. And I caw at them to tell them, I'm using my savage tongues. I say, go forth and tell anyone in the paths of these riders to get out of the way. And I send them off on their way.
Okay.
Now, I take it you've never really developed much of a martial element to this society. They're not. Well, neither you nor the people who follow you are really much in the way of fighting. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's not a heck of a lot of reason to. I mean, we don't. People learn to fight in order to, sorry, this is like the character, this is the character's philosophy is, people learn to fight because they live in places where there isn't enough for everyone. And they learn violence by killing animals for food. We don't have to do either of those things here. The land provides everything we need. And so there's just no necessity for it. And there may be arguments, and people get passionate, and there might be like flashes of violence as a result of that, but it's not directed violence. It's not violence with the intent of taking other people's things or anything like that. Or at least that's what I tell myself when I go out and around. And and so like an element of my cult is like kind of a particular flavor of nonviolence. And being a vegetarian isn't a rule, but there's enough cultural pressure, I think, that everybody is, and here you can be, because it's so abundant. Yeah, like there's just whatever you want.
So Eridu will say, yes, you've created a very kind, generous nation here, but if you remember when long ago when we first met, when you were shivering, about to be sacrificed, there are plenty of people in this land enjoy the taking of fruit, the plucking of the fruit, perhaps even more than the fruit itself. And I fear that these people may be them, and that may not be what they're looking for. They may eschew the easy gatherings of abundance in favor of the visceral thrill of taking. So just be wary of that. Be prepared, is what I'm saying.
I am. There's a reason why I keep those people out.
Well, hopefully you can keep them out too.
Okay. As you are kind of approaching where it was, the birds have gone ahead and given signals. Like there's some things you probably taught them to know, like they've and kind of moved some people further away. And you can kind of hear like some slashing through the undergrowth.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
As they're making their way in. You just hear, I don't care if we have to tear down this entire jungle to find her. As they're coming through, you hear that before you see them.
I missed that. I take it as something to the lines of them expressing that they're not happy tree planter types.
Well, no, one of them is coming through. You heard one of them says, "I don't care if you have to tear down this entire jungle. Find her."
Okay.
And kind of as they're approaching, before they crash through and arrive, I'm going to use my call the Wild ability. You summon small animals; they stand till you dismiss them. I'm just kind of like, I hold up my staff and I start to chitter, and the leaves rustle, and one monkey appears and then another appears, and then they're kind of starting to and one comes up and hops up and sits on my shoulder, and I'm gonna summon my monkey court to be there when they arrive.
Okay. Yeah. So will they see it before they see you?
No, I think I really want it to be a thing where they're bushwhacking through the jungle, and then they emerge into this clearing, and I'm standing there, and for a second they just see me with a monkey on my shoulder, and then but then as the kind of the trees rustle and they start to make out the eyes, they'll realize that there's just dozens and dozens of monkeys kind of just up in the trees all around the I'm going for a little bit of shock and awe here.
Yeah, so as they kind of chop their way through and they come in, the moment they sort of see you and hear something, there's a moment of, and then they hear this stuff, and then 11 of them form a ring around one in the middle, who's a slightly older man. You recognize him as Krarv. Krarv is the chieftain of the Hardhounds.
Hardhounds.
And Krarv's looking around, and he's like, drop your spears. If they wanted to rip us apart, it wouldn't matter what we have.
And I smile and I say, that you understand that is a good start to our discussion.
Kind of, Monkey King, I apologize for coming into your realm without warning, but my daughter has been taken, and as we chased them, they fled here.
Who is they?
I'm not sure who they are. Two people were killed nearby where she slept. We heard her screams. We saw them fleeing into the night. They'd hobbled a good number of our horses. We managed to get together those that were still able to walk, but it took us a while to gather them. They were coming in this direction.
Why are they coming here?
This was more than a friendly raid for a daughter. It's not unusual to have these sort of raids where the person who's caught someone will do a raid to quote unquote kidnap them, and some of it's for a worth stuff, and they're actually treated very well because frankly a lot of their parents had done the same thing, and the person who's kidnapped, be it male or female, has the option essentially of still turning it down, but it is a not uncommon in the thing to show stealth power, stuff like that. But people don't die when that happens. Someone might get beaten up a little bit if they kind of come into a camp when they're not supposed to be, but it's one of those sort of
it's theater.
Wink, nod. You should have been a little bit more clever in doing it. So, but people don't die. As a matter of fact, if they show up with spears at all, they tend to be mostly more of a staff. They're blunted.
Sure.
So it's not something where danger is a thing.
So, Chief, they killed your tribesmen.
They killed two who were very nearby her tent where she slept. It was apparently on the way out. We heard her screaming, saw her kicking, and then they were off on horses.
And then
coordinated. Many of ours had been hobbled.
And then they fled into the jungle?
They came this way as we chased them. They were quite a ways ahead of us. I think they hoped to lose us in here or wonder if we would not enter.
So, all right.
Drazlith?
I will, yes. Sorry, and I kind of I pause and just cock my head, and I'm not having this conversation out loud. I'm doing it in my head, and I say yes.
What are you thinking here? What course of action stirs in your thoughts?
The course of action of retrieving the chief's daughter for him, and then because they shouldn't be here, they've trespassed, but I understand why, and they're showing respect. And this is the kind of thing that's going to happen. And if we don't make an example of these bandits, it will happen more often. The reason they fled here is because they thought these other people would not follow. And we need to make that true. This should be a place where you can't, this shouldn't be a place where you feel as if you commit a crime in the outside world. You can flee here and be safe from the consequences of your crime.
So the preservation of this garden is paramount in your thoughts.
No, punishment of these malefactors is foremost in my thoughts, which will serve the purpose of preserving the garden.
Good. We are of one mind on this. Good lad.
And I turn my head back. Chief, you have my word that I will bring the full resources of my people to bear to find your daughter and deliver her back to you. The worst has already befallen her. I will return her to you even still. I will forgive your trespass because I understand you're upset, but you must leave now.
And he like nervously is looking around, and his eyes kind of keep flitting to the staff, because like the power you have, which is clearly not of man. And he goes, "If we make camp outside of the jungle, could we be found there when you find her?"
Oh yes. You know where the spring is, at the edge of the of the jungle. And you know where the spring is at the edge of the jungle.
Yes.
There will be fruit in abundance when you arrive there, and I will ease your journey. And I take the staff, and I just kind of like make a motion like this, like I'm using it to part something. And the root of the jungle that they came in, like where it was tramped down and stuff like that, like the trees kind of like sway back, and the ferns all kind of like sort of slide out of the way and kind of curve around, and there's literally like a tunnel through the vegetation leading back in the direction they came, pointing them nicely out of the jungle. And that is that's my touching the green that I can use to manipulate plants that are like, I can't uproot them to move, but any plants that are in the ground, I can shape them and make them do stuff. And I'm kind of like pointing the way back out. And what they will find is that like when they turn around, as they leave, that way will close behind them.
Okay.
As they head back out.
Listen. I learned this from this guy. It was Mosen, something. He taught me this thing. Part.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it parts. He just sort of nods, and he and his people leave.
Where's your Messiah now?
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Let's just skip to Deluvia.
Cool.
Mephisti.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the leader of Jagged Heaven?
Yes, because the other person, I guess who Jim was formerly playing, he seemed like kind of a lackadaisical, kind of like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, if I remember correctly. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Whereas Mephisti is definitely more of a, well, she's thoughtful and ruthless. So yes, she will definitely be one to retain command of the Berserk Stag tribe. And I remember at the very end of our first game session, there was Jim. There was a little bit of talk about your former wielder contemplating the prospects of marriage with Mephisti. That's something that could have happened if it would have been necessary for the unity of the tribes, for the consolidation of
Yep.
trade and unity of the tribes. she probably wouldn't be a very affectionate, or she would have been very utilitarian with it. She wouldn't have been mean or anything, but it would have been strictly business, that sort of
Yeah,
arrangement.
so like
But she would.
the character I was playing before, I kind of pictured him as like
Mhm.
like I kind of saw him growing into almost like a Falstaff kind of a character, you know.
Oh, I'm
Drunk.
false. I'm not getting the.
Sorry, like from Shakespeare. So like a
Oh, okay.
you know, like just very happy to, if you're queen, let you be queen, do your political stuff, do your business stuff, and like I'm just gonna be like rich and eat a lot of food and like, you know, be a fun guy to be around, but not particularly worry too much about the government and stuff like this. And I almost imagine a thing where like our roles are to some extent reversed, where like Mephisti is going out and being like serious and doing all the government stuff and everything and all that kind of stuff. And after like long, hard day, like I'm at home and I'm basically there like to keep you amused. What was kind of how I pictured like I pictured that marriage being like he has absolutely no interest in like pulling the levers of power or anything like that, but just, you know, like but he thought she was pretty hot, so you know.
Yeah, I will say it will definitely be a challenge because she's pretty, she's pretty driven. But it sounds like the makings of a very unconventional yet very stable relationship. I'll say.
Yeah, he has no interest in getting in her way or like, you know, but
you never try to pull the power plays just to
not at all. But also you know, has her back, you know, and wants to make sure that you know, she's like maybe serving as an apologist for her sometimes and stuff like this, and you know, like
you're the good cop.
Yeah, like good cop / kind of court jester kind of thing going on. Yeah. So.
One thing I could think of, you know, it wouldn't take long for Mephisti to figure out that longevity is part of the blessing of wielding Avacha. So I think one thing she would insist on would be no heirs, because heirs, when you're basically super long lived, would just be kind of complicated, and I don't want to risk any jealous, power hungry kids thinking maybe they should take over from mom.
Yeah, that's fine. You know,
but
good on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
mom, you've been queen for like 1,500 years.
Right. But yeah, that all sounds good. So what? I guess. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea for how things continued from the first game session.
Okay. So Jagged Heaven itself has kind of grown into a bustling metropolis, such as it is. I mean, having brought some of the different tribes together and created like places that started to become sort of more and more permanent. Some of the tribes might have been a little bit more wandering, but the ability to kind of tame the land is something that others have started to get a bit of a knack for. So while primitive, it's compared to what you're used to. This is like a modern day metropolis compared to what you've had before. One thing you discovered at some point that there was the place that you had chosen. Occasionally, people would find odd symbols. There was like on the side of a sheer cliff, not far from it, they found a face engraved in it, but the face itself looked like a person, but yet unlike. There's a lot of thoughts it might have been a face of one of the gods, but no one is quite sure. And at one point, Ardal, who's a shaman, the tribe. Now, how does someone have an audience with you?
They have to light a fire, light a special symbol torch. We'll say.
Okay. And that symbol torch would be placed in a certain spot, or?
Yeah, it would be probably Yeah, it'll probably be like on maybe a elevated mound, mound of earth that was built up like the mound builders of in North America, and
Okay.
maybe their ability their ability to maintain a sufficiently large fire and the ability to keep it going even through potentially rain, depending on the nature of their request, might be how I determine their worthiness to hear their plea. But it wouldn't be I wouldn't be too super sadistic about it. But yeah, there's something like that.
Yeah. So there is the fire is lit. Everything is sort of done, and like as you're told from some who go to look that there's a man there, Ardol, a shaman who you're aware of. Not only is his left eye gone, like the wound is fresh and he hasn't touched it.
Okay.
Like he hasn't tried to bandage it, he hasn't tried to wipe it off, but but his eye has been gouged recently. He is sitting fairly calmly near the fire waiting.
Okay. Well, I will heed that person's call. I'll have a body servant on hand with, or let's say a healer actually, on hand. I won't have that healer immediately apply. I want to at least have words with this person to see. And I don't recognize this person. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, it's Ardol.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a shaman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a shaman who's known to you before.
Okay.
Very wise. Someone who definitely has found a high degree of fascination with the weird.
I'm afraid you're chopping up. I'm not getting a lot of what you're saying. I'm afraid.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened. But yeah, it was blinking on and off, which is weird. I've never seen that before. Okay, so yeah, he's a shaman who has a wide fascination with the various odd places and things that have been found, artifacts maybe of a different time, of a different people.
Yeah. If I can pause the game for a moment, one thing I am noticing is that Mephisti's achieved her destiny. So as I've been thinking about what she's been doing over these past couple decades, well, I guess having achieved her destiny, she's kind of no pun intended, up in the air as to what her life does now. I mean, certainly she's building, she's built this empire.
Well, consider this: destinies aren't necessarily the thing they want to do; it's the thing they're fated to do.
Okay. Well,
and the Vacha will often alter and change. Some of it will actually be the thing that they wanted, and that's totally cool. Sometimes it'll be something that they had never planned on, but just they were supposed to end up in the right place at the right time to do whatever. Because some of the ones I have are actually like fairly awful. I don't think any of the ones. I mean, like Draslith was to be sacrificed to appease the gods, so that was his original destiny.
Okay, so that doesn't. So that doesn't preclude Mephisti having additional goals of her own beyond what's destiny. I got you. Okay,
and it wouldn't even preclude like the exact opposite being what the character wanted. It's just that's what originally Fate was planning. The fact that a Vacha walked into their life means that destiny is now not necessarily going to happen.
Okay, so I'll ask the shaman. Since he seems to be so calm, I'll just simply ask what brings him here.
It's a smile, sort of a cracked tooth smile. Mephisti, I come here with great joy in my heart. I have seen things that the gods have unraveled to me.
Is that why? I hope you didn't take your eye out as a result of that.
In order to gain entrance, it cost. To enter the place of the gods for the first time, the seal must be broken, and the seal cost me my eye. A small thing.
I see. Well, I know what it's like to give up your body in return for favors from powers beyond, so I can appreciate that. May I tend to the wound? May I have your wound attended to?
He kind of holds a hand. It's like, the way the gods wished it was for me to remove my own eye, and then to take this pain. And you notice his other eye is a little dilated. And he goes, and I've taken something for the pain. but the gods will see me through.
I'll dismiss the healer then. And please, are you at liberty to share what the gods revealed to you?
I have. There is, and he describes there's some caverns that are sort of known of. And he goes, one of the children found something strange and led me to it. When I went down into the caverns, what I found was a structure built not by people, possibly the very gods itself. There was carvings that put anything we're able to do to shame. We saw some of the same symbols that we see out in nature and in other places carved there as well, along with a great many other. There was a door, and I heard a whispering, and from it, when I plucked my eye from my head, the door opened. I think it may be a place from the gods. Now I'll let you know this, Shirako. What this possibly, like, he's very likely correct. Like, the gods are often very fond of, like, the things that they have kept from the previous incarnations of the world. Like, there's often secrets there. Secrets are a weird thing. You live through a lot of that stuff, so there's a lot of the secrets you know, but there are sometimes there's a number of things that can be done in those areas. Like, sometimes magically, they're a very powerful spot. And while you yourself are something different than magic, it's not to say that magic doesn't have a tremendous amount of... It's a little more open than the stuff you can do. It's not nearly on the same power level. But these places often yield some good when they're explored.
All right. So let me see here. What do we got? All right. So I say, you should have him take you to where he found this place, because there may be power here.
Okay, I will let my guards know that I'm going to be going on a holy excursion with the shaman.
Take them with you. There's no reason not to. If this is a
Okay.
ruse, if it's a trap, you'll want them along. Also, whatever this is, there should be other people to spread the tales of you finding it and you taking possession of it.
Okay, in that case, I'll have the select my elite guard and then come with me. Maybe my top storyteller too. You're thinking on the matter.
Excellent. That's an excellent idea.
Okay, so you gather up a small group of folk.
Yes, and shall we? Unless the shaman says otherwise, I'll assume we'll take the air express over there to wherever.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
the door is.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Like, whenever possible, we want the people to see us doing this.
Oh, and I'll make sure there are plenty of there are plenty of torches lit around the area.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll be keeping an eye on them. instead.
I can't imagine that we don't have a a great big basically like an eternal flame burning.
Oh yeah. In fact, we probably have fires, just sentry fires, maybe all over the kingdom. I mean,
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't see an upper end to my abilities, so that way I'm almost like my own guard.
Yeah.
Do I sleep still? If I don't sleep, then I could literally. Anyway, that's all backstory. In any event, yeah, we'll definitely on our way.
Yeah, you would sleep unless there's a thing that you're specifically given. You would sleep.
No, you can
Okay.
sleep. Yeah, but she needs to sleep. It's backstory. It's pretty freaking cool backstory. So
So on to this door that
Okay.
that the shaman mentioned.
He leads you down into
Lead on.
Leads you down to the caverns, and you can kind of see the
I'm
place
curious,
where
as the Vacha, I'm curious, like, does the fact that like we sweep him up and soar through the air on wings of wind to get there, like, does that freak him out at all, or is he just like, is what he took for the pain like
if you
really
flown there,
working?
I would say this: are people aware that you do? Is this something you do on occasion, or is it?
Oh, you mean,
Oh, this is. Go ahead. Yeah.
was the question? Do people know that I can fly and make other people fly? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, there's at least going to be tales and legends of what had happened before. But is that something that do they occasionally look up and see you?
Oh yeah.
Do they occasionally look up and
they
see
know.
you?
Yeah, because I think hiding that's gonna, if nothing else, hiding that would be it'll be an awful lot of work hiding that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm free and public with that.
It's so much easier just to fly places.
People tend not to mess with you when you're doing that.
Unless they have their own botcha, of course.
That. Yes, well, yeah. What's behind door number 1?
Okay, get to the cavern. You kind of fly, and there's that moment of excitement as they're sort of flying. And when you gather your folks there, go down. There's a couple tight squeezes, but not too bad. You could definitely see a place where it's been like knocked apart. And Ardo looks over and is like, "I did this myself." And he kind of holds up his hands. You can see where there's been just some cuts and scrapes while he was knocking some of it aside. Because it was much smaller when it first came through, but the rock in this place parted easily. I think they wanted us to find it.
Okay. I'll assume we have a very healthy supply of torches on hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have some torchbearers light the way, and then we'll proceed. I'll go first with the shaman, just a couple steps behind, and then the guard at my flanks, and that's how I guess that'll be marching order.
Yeah,
D&D always goes back to D&D eventually.
As you're heading through and down into it, suddenly there is a place where it turns into steps. Like first there was a bit of a gentle ramp kind of leading down and around some of the rocks, and start to notice that some of the stuff has been carved through, and then steps, and it leads down to like the cavern itself opens up onto kind of a rougher part of the ocean, a place where people have, if they've been outside in that place, they probably haven't survived particularly well because it's a very dangerous part of the area, but it kind of looks out onto the ocean, and it is well, for us, it's the Coral Cathedral, though you don't know the thing yet. Though the thing is Shirako, you definitely will. The Coral Cathedral is a place that is holy to Jadit, who is a goddess. She's a goddess of like honor, life, and family, but she's often very fickle and can be quite. She can either be very, very kind or quite cruel.
Oh, if you were the god of family, I can see where that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's. But the Coral Cathedral is like she has one true place of power, and this is it. And in the past incarnations of the world, Judy like loves the farmers and townfolk, are the ones that she tends to sort of are highest in her vision.
Mm-hmm.
But very often, like civilizations have often started around Jadit. Like when people first went from the tribe and such, she's the one that helped bring them together at first.
I will ask Sriracho,
Shirako.
Sorry, if it has ever met Jadit in its burnings.
I know this.
Lifetime.
I know this place. I've never been here, but I've heard of it. It's it's the hearth of life. That is what some call it. It is the heart of the sea. I have never encountered her in her corporeal form, but in ages past, I've encountered her servants, including her powerful worldly servants, artifacts of her power, probably survived the last fall of man. This is a place that holds many dangers, but probably holds many treasures as well.
Well, certainly the potential blessings of the goddess of life would be nothing to turn down. So, sorry, just I'm reopening roll 20. Apparently, I accidentally shut it off.
Give me half a second to refill my drink. You can, if you're talking, that's fine.
Sure.
Yes.
So I'm definitely interested in exploring.
Yes, we should, because this could be a key to power far beyond anything that you've experienced before.
This is saying quite a bit.
It is. This will. This is a place that could be a seat not for just. This is not a kingdom. This is where you could rule an empire from.
Well, to explore these caverns, I think what Mufesti would like to do would be to have a whole bunch of her. Is this like a single cavern, or is this like a big?
No, the cavern opens up quite huge, and there's a large structure, almost like a palace in the way that we might see it. Much of it's made out of living coral, or rather dead coral. It's just like the rock. It's the large swirls and such of it. Brings this like what looks like a beautiful texture to the whole thing, and there is a like you see there's a door that has a smear of blood on the side of it. You're guessing this is where the eye was removed.
Oh. Yeah, well, no one slip on that. It'll be
it's a large underground cavern, and then this huge palace underneath there.
How far?
Okay, so
ask him how far inside he made it.
What's the name of the shaman again?
Arnold.
How far did you explore on your own?
I came just into the first chamber. At that point, I knew that this was not for me.
And then
then he is of no use to us anymore. And if she has his eye, she may be able to see through it. We need to dispose of him.
Well, I'll simply say, you wait here. I'm gonna have what I'd like to do is I'm gonna have everyone have a torch, the guards, and even the storyteller. I'm gonna give them each a torch, and I'm gonna actually. Can I basically just kind of airlift them and have them explore through the place, and then kind of see through their torches, just to basically explore this whole place through it's like sending out a dozen or so drones and just getting the visual input from all of them all at once as I explore this giant this big underground palace. Is that a thing that I can do?
As I send you, if you could all make sound.
Because if I want to, because I'm thinking if I want to heed Shirako's word, it'll probably be best not to have any witnesses for if I eliminate the one potential wild card.
You basically you can give the ability to fly. You don't fly them. You're able to give them.
They can fly their own accord.
And I love it. The effect lasts until you do not want everyone to fly. Okay,
yeah, the Wings of the Storm says everyone you want can fly.
Okay.
This effect lasts until you do not want everyone to fly.
Right. So yeah, I'll just tell them to explore, and I will be able to witness through the lights they carry everything that's going on, and I think that'll be the fastest way to survey and see what's up with this place.
Okay.
and then eventually it'll be me and the shaman.
And your people, like they head off and they kind of fly up. And you have them like search inside, or just kind of search around the place?
Definitely, yeah. Just do a comprehensive search.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and since since I'll be seeing it all, eventually I can just commit it to memory, at least well enough until I get back with the storyteller or get back to a good scribe, and they can just etch it all down.
Okay. So yeah, they start to fly as you're able to see through the torches as they're heading through, and they're flying a little bit slowly to make sure they don't put out the torches. But it's not terribly hard to do. Some of them fly sort of outside to get a better idea of exactly where this is at. So this is some of your, like you said, personal guard.
Yeah, it was my elite guard who I sent out.
Yeah, so I'm guessing occasionally you have them fly just to get used to it because it's super useful.
Sure.
And you're sitting there alone with Ordal.
Yeah.
He goes, "This place is wholly beyond anything that I've known."
And I'll ask, why did the gods ask you to bring this to me?
The gods did not. I gave my eye, it opened up, and I walked in, and I looked at the might around me and the majesty, and you're touched by the gods. You're touched by something. You have the abilities. I'm a bridge between the spirit world and the world of humanity.
Yes, you are correct in recognizing me as a servant, as a chosen of the gods. And it is good that you are a bridge between this world and the spiritual world, so you do not fear the spirit world, and you know that life goes beyond the here and now.
With that, I will grant you, in the air domain, power number 7, Wrath of the Storm.
Really? Ooh, this is all right, going all out.
Sounds fancy. If you want to, it's also not a bad idea just to copy and paste the thing into your character, into the wielder sheet.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, the descriptions. That's a good call.
Oh,
that's right. I can open those up because that's a thing.
You summon a lightning bolt to a specific place. In combat, you can neither attack nor defend this round. You select someone and they take 3 wounds that cannot be defended against. Or you select something that can be destroyed by lightning. It is destroyed.
Okay. Well, I will. What I'll do is I feel that that ability coursing through my, I guess over my tingling back. I'll presume since you're back.
Yeah, my sense of melodrama, as you said, well, then you'll understand that that you're giving your life whatever for that there's a life beyond this one, and then just I'll let you describe what that looks like as you immolate him.
Yeah, well, certainly I'll thank him. I'll tell him that he's done a great thing, and rest assured that your reward will find you in that other realm, which you know not to fear. And with that, I
was a little confused.
Right. And maybe it doesn't incinerate him into dust.
Not to dust. I mean, it's not the old TMNT game.
Running corpse.
Just 2 blinking eyes, and then just falls into dust. Yeah, it sort of strikes in front of you with enough force because the way the lightning was summoned, it actually came down and then across into the cavern.
Right. Yeah.
And then sort of up, like arcing off of stuff, and you're making sure it's not hitting your other people. I'm assuming.
Absolutely. I'm not. Yeah.
Then just. And when he falls, there's a smell of cooked person.
Right. Well, at least it was quick. So yes, the deed is done, and I'm sure the thunder crack is echoing all throughout the place, and no one should be. People would be terribly surprised because this is a new ability.
Yeah, I haven't done that before.
They'll show up and I'll just be like, when they show up.
What the hell? And then there's like a rumble goes through the entire kind of cavern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if anyone comes back, I imagine like the elite guard would.
No. When they come back, tell them that is when they come back. Tell them that is proof of your mastery of this place.
And then you hear a voice, a woman's voice, probably 40s or 50s.
Okay.
Conqueror, uniter. I felt you once, and then you fell into a hole in creation. And you have brought that hole to my place.
Does she?
That's Jadit.
Can I talk directly to her like akin to Avancha, or does it have to go through?
You're pretty sure that she'd be able to hear you, but it has to be out loud. You can't do it mentally. I mean, I guess it would be, if you say it. Well, if you say it in this case,
so then I say to my wielder, I say, let me speak through you.
I'll do that thing.
And
no, wait, does that mean? No, well, I already said I do it, but yeah, I'll find out if.
I would say we have a thing where both of you can actually talk, and it'll be like a different voice might come out.
Okay.
Because that's kind of a cool idea where like if you're speaking directly through, it'd be just a different voice.
Yeah. Or maybe what I do is like just turn my back and turn to the side like this, so when I'm speaking, you can see my lips moving, and then
like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, but like you turn your back, and it's your voice. But like the Phoenix tattoo, its mouth is moving, and like the tattoo is
I see
the one talking.
I got you. But it'll be my voice, but it's words. And then when I'm speaking, I can just turn around.
Exactly.
Okay, that's even creepier. Sure, let's do that.
Super creepy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or would the Phoenix be able to actually like move its head up onto her?
No. I
like the idea that I'm never ever actually able to see it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I heard it looks really cool.
Yes. Yeah. No. I love that. I kind of love the idea that this is an item of power that Mike has that like dominates his life that he's never actually seen. That's super.
It's
super
like
creepy.
the ultimate kick me
Yeah.
sign.
I hear my voice in your just my voice in your nightmares. That's all. I say, the Coral Mother. You've survived another fall of man. What is it? What sad little foundlings have you gathered to you here?
The foundlings that were supposed to come to me have not.
Yes. Well, is it because you don't have that much to offer them?
Do not try my patience in my holy place, thing.
For a place to be holy, there must be worshippers in it. The one would-be priest that you have, he had an accident.
Would-be priest? Not go through shamans. I go through.
With our respect, Sirocco.
What?
Oh, with our respect, Sirocco, I'm not comfortable even though they are your words. Bearing such tones of disrespect to a goddess is uncomfortable to me as a.
Yes, well, it's you're going to have an uncomfortable life.
Actually, out of curiosity, what is your current control level?
4 to 6, if I remember correctly.
Let me check.
In favor of Soraka.
Does that include?
Did you add the 7?
Didn't you
get
the 7?
Oh, 7?
I did not. I did not.
I just gave you 7.
Oh,
yeah.
So that means you're now aware of how to destroy Sirocco.
And my question. Oh, now we're at an even keel. And I know your weakness, which is once again.
It's
not an easy one.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
It's
a long range plan.
Yeah, the rules say that it should be not impossible, but that it should be epic. And I thought that was, but it's also tied into like my thing that I want to do involves like multiple generations and stuff like this, and so I felt they were kind of like sort of complemented each other.
No wonder you're so cool with me not having kids.
Then I say, very well. Very well. You are right. She is she's an elder power, and though in her dotage, still deserves to be deserves the respect of her station. Goddess of Coral, forgive my impertinence. As you know, you are an ancient being, and I am young and still young and untempered.
Young and untempered. Conqueror, uniter, child. This could be removed from you. If you wish to drop back into the world and accept the destiny you once had, the things you would have done.
Cora Mother, I am quite of the world. I've united tribes, and as far as my destiny is concerned, the wretched, bleeding red eyes were driven into nothingness, forgotten, and upstaged by the wisdom of my rule, which even their own descendants praise and follow where I lead.
Did you believe that your life ended with the Red Eye tribe? That you were supposed to have that be your greatest victory? You have no idea what the Vacha's taken from you.
Well, she's right. I have taken something from you. I've taken many things from you. I have taken from you a lifetime of servitude. I have taken from you disease. I have taken from you senility, the creeping onset of fear that comes with the death of the body. I've stolen these things from you. If you wish, I can return them and find another who will surrender them willingly.
Cora Mother, I have lived a life of challenge, yet not of one of strife. I have loyal followers and a spouse who is a good man. What else may I have achieved had I not taken Sirocco upon my back?
This is pointless.
Do you fear the truth of what I might speak? Painting?
I do not fear. So please tell, Cora Mother.
You had in the past happiness, contentment, a family, and power. But now your heart is turned away from those things because you look at the possibility of a great long time with the Vacha on you. Trust me when I say that those wielded by the Vacha, lives tend to be short, and even the long ones are full of strife. Jagged Heaven, this thing you've created, is not supposed to be the beginnings of society. It is not as was planned.
Oh, plans and schemes. All of you deities. Look. Why not let us use this as the seat for her power? It's stupid for us to be in conflict. Let's unite. And from here, we can spread across the world with your message of whatever Earth Mother ocean seat, life-giving prattle that it is that you wish to disseminate,
Prattle.
we will do it. Yes, prattle. It is no.
Is this what I'm hearing from a mistake? A thing that should not have been in the universe. When one has a hole in their sock, they do not bow down to it. They fix it. That's what you are. You're a hole in creation, in error. A thing to be mended and fixed.
And yet here I am.
I must say, Crow Mother, if the existence of Scirocco is an error, it's the most fortuitous one, or at least it has been for me. And I have not yet heard a compelling case for what the destiny you lay before me that would compel me to take that path instead. You mentioned love of family, but though I have no children, I have the love of thousands.
Worship is not love. You think jagged heaven, this place you have, is better than what was planned?
Well, I haven't seen what was planned. If it's this, well, what have I been seeing, by the way? Have I what's the signal in?
It sounds like right now, I don't know if you're talking directly into the air. You could go if you want to be a bit more directly and look through the torch of someone in the thing, but like there's this gigantic, incredibly like ornate structure, something that is, there's not a civilization right now that exists that's anywhere near being able to build, but it's made directly out of, let's say, the coral. It's beautiful. It's a sort of thing that today might be possible to make something that appears like it. But for back then, like the artistry is well, it's godly.
Yeah. Let me ask, Coral Mother, could it not be do you doubt that I could in time build that Grand Empire myself, Scirocco, with the power of Scirocco, a Grand Empire that would be worthy of the vision you've set before me? Could I not achieve something similar, or perhaps, dare I say, even surpass it?
Surpass it. You think you can surpass what the gods have said was to happen? You think you can create something better than was decreed by fate? Hubris is punished, human.
Well, as someone who found salvation and immense power in a time of running for my life, I found that fate is often not what one would expect it to be. So I say, why not?
At that point, the rumble starts to happen, and like the water level you see is starting to just rise up inside the cavern.
Okay.
The others sort of fly back because like they've heard some of the voices too, and they've flown back and like, Mephisti, what is this?
It is the wrath. I fear that it is the wrath of the Coral Mother, and I say the Coral the Digiti. Is that her name? Did I get it right? Digitu? Judith. Yes. I'll command the. You know what? I'll command the elite guard, because I don't think swords or spears and shields are going to help in this case. I'll tell them to depart, fly up to the surface, but I'll keep the storyteller with me because I want to witness whatever happens here. There should be a witness.
Yeah, the storyteller's eyes are wide as he's listening to this and hearing both of the voices. What is?
Yeah. So
what's that? And like it's coming. You hear storms start to appear or start to hit outside suddenly. By the way, if you do take a look, I don't know if either of you looked again at the Trello. For the first bookend.
What are we looking at?
If you look at the Trello real quick, the first bookend, the very last one.
What's the Trello again?
That was where we put all the stuff for the microscope that started it.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't opened that up. Let me get that link open. That's right, Trello. That was a real
Not
cool program,
necessarily play, but I would go ahead and look at the bottom of the first bookend.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I kind of did that, didn't I?
Yep.
Kind of, sort of did.
I sort of nudged a bit,
Well-
but I don't know if it'll get there, but let's see.
Well, yeah. Well, I've kind of, I kind of did it. I mean, whatever happens after here is just gravy. So I'm going to ask. Okay, so Sirocco, I'm going to need the power. I'm going to need the powers of air to stop this impending deluge. Is what I presume. I can only presume is about to happen.
The
deluvining.
Yeah. So she's creating storms.
Well, it's not just storm. What you can kind of feel is like also the water itself is rising, but there's like massive storms happening outside as well. Like, but like the water level started to rise before the storm, like before you heard the storm hit.
All right. I say I say move to the center, find her heart.
Oh, the center of the palace.
Yes,
Okay.
I've given you the power to remove anything in your way.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can lightning blast stuff. That's for sure.
You sure can.
Yeah. So I'll hope that I've seen enough from the initial survey to know where that center is, and I'll try to blast my way through. Try to get to the heart before, and try to get to the root of the problem before it.
Okay. Let's say, hey, Asher.
Oh. Hey, you're just in time for the big fireworks.
Yeah.
Hey.
I can't find my headphones right now, so I won't talk very much because you'll probably get feedback.
Yeah, we're actually at this point we're in the last hour. Of the game, because it was supposed to go from we're going from 7 to 10 Central. I don't know where you got the later. I don't know if was there a mistake on the page? Did it not come through right?
It must have been because that's what I had on my calendar.
I've made mix-ups like that too in the past.
They actually mentioned, I think, on one of the last podcasts, or maybe it was on the Slack, that occasionally if they've got like a second device that they kind of check into that's not like set for the correct time, it screws that up for people.
Time zone.
It's 7 my time right now, so that's probably what happened.
Mm.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to automatically adjust for where you're at. Because I'm in Central Time.
All right.
Oh, cool. Let's just have a good hour then.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I have a feeling I'm going to be wrapping up soon, one way or the other.
Yeah. We might be able to do it as soon as just kind of throw you in as actually. Yeah, actually, no. I've a thing for you.
Okay.
Let me. Do this. We'll create a wielder for you very quickly. Well, shoot. Well, so the problem is at this point, I mean, putting you in as a wielder of that, because someone else plays your wielder, and then you play the thing. But since right now we actually might be able to switch off after this, and maybe have, if we switch off, then have.
Yeah, that's totally cool. We can jump in and wield or do whatever. That's totally cool on that. Yeah,
I know we can do. Okay, so we'll do this. Like you rush in, so you rush inside the Coral Cavern or the Coral Cathedral.
Yes.
Okay, so as you rush in, like as you enter in that first room. So I'm assuming sort of flying in, and it is. Very quickly, you're sort of looking, and it's just these.
And I'm also keeping the storyteller behind me, or I'm telling the storyteller to follow.
You see these gigantic statues and such in there, like almost look like something had been frozen, and turned to stone. It looks so lifelike. As you're coming through, there's also all of these writings and such on there, and you kind of go down this hallway, and you're sort of seeking the center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're flying through, and the poor storyteller. I don't know if you just grab the storyteller and he's like, ah! The other ones. Did you have everyone else flee?
I set the guards on because I didn't think they'd be able to help much in this situation.
And so you head through some corridors, and then finally this large sort of central chamber. In there, you see that there's statues of the gods, kind of
and
in these alcoves around.
And I just want to say, like, as we're kind of like swooping through, and there's lightning bolts going and stuff like this, the tattoo on his back, because the storyteller is there. The storyteller sees the tattoo's mouth moving, and he can hear my voice, but my wielder can't hear it. And I'm saying to the storyteller, remember this and watch carefully. If she falls, it will be upon you to carry me home.
Great.
Okay, so at this point,
just putting that out there.
As you come in, there's this booming laughter from Jadid. What have you done? Conqueror, usurper, hole in the world. You've come here into the womb of my cathedral, and what did you wish to do?
Come to strike a hole in that bloody heart.
I am a goddess. Where is my heart? Find it. At that, you hear there's a...
You would turn me into a broodmare.
And you hear like the water.
I'll show you what. I'll show you what. How much...
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just say you who would turn me into a broodmare. I will show you what I'm truly capable of.
Okay. And the kind of look back in the place where stuff has sort of come up, or you kind of come through. You see water rising up through here. It's like, I do not exist in this place. I'm a goddess. I exist in all places. This place is holy to me, but it is not.
No. I'm sorry. Wait. This place was holy to you, and I'm going to grant you number 10.
What? Air 10 or fire 10?
Fire 10.
Fire 10. Does that turn me into animal 10 turns into a dragon? What is fire 10?
You call fire from the sky that destroys everyone and everything in sight.
Oh dear. Oh, double dear. All right.
Ragnarok, baby. Bring it down. Bring the pain.
All right, let me 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So first of all, I still haven't put down. I don't think I've put down Air 7 yet, let alone Fire 10. So let's take care of that. Wait, where did?
Are you summoning down fire?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still. I'm just still updating my sheet. Oh man, for eating and gaming. Yeah. Well. Okay. So you've given me Flamestorm 10, and all right. I guess I'll just try to destroy. I guess at this point I need to just destroy this holy place rather than. Yeah. So I'll just try to just break out at everything. Yeah, unfortunately, in the heat of in the panic of the moment, all I can think of to do is to try to bring down the entire Coral Castle down. If this goddess truly is and everything, then all I can do is blow up everything in sight.
Yeah, she's everywhere, which means she's nowhere.
Yeah, I can do that, but how about perhaps I could just ask for some. If I had like ultimate power over air, I could simply just like push the water back down and force it down and preserve the place.
No, it needs to be raised.
No, I can't. I can resist your commands, but I actually command you to do stuff, right?
You can't command to be given stuff, but you can you can resist if it's trying to.
Yeah, I can certainly try to bargain at the last moment, but then again, there is a. All right, so. I think. Oh, what the hell? Let's do this. If Scirocco doesn't like my idea, then let me kill the storyteller, and then there's no escape hatch. So it's either keep me alive or grant me the whirlwind as well as the flamestorm.
Now, if you wish to try to stop him, you could. I think right now maybe he's got more dice than you, but it's still possible.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want the storyteller killed. This is a story that needs to be heard.
Okay, so while this is happening, water is sort of rushing in. Like, how are you trying to kill the storyteller?
Well, let's just keep it simple, right? I could even just like use my power of flight to just body slam him into the wall with enough force to just crack his spine or something.
Okay, so that would be terribly hard.
That's you can't use the power that way.
Yes.
There's a specific power that lets you do that. There's like a grab somebody power.
Okay, well, I can't convert it to
but you certainly can lightning bolt him, which does 3 with no defense.
Of course.
So,
yeah, as you can see, I'm still getting used to all this unlimited power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's just keep it simple. Let's do that again.
Okay, sorry, are you trying to stop?
From lightning bolting the yes.
Okay. So
yeah, I'll say no. He who will tell the story of what happened here if he dies?
So here's the thing.
I can tell the story. I'll tell my story.
Jim,
yes.
you get to roll 3d6. Mike, you get to roll 7d6. Whoever has the highest.
We can't let 2 sessions of this game go without at least one contested control.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? pretty sure I know how this is going to go, but let's.
And can we use live dice, or do we have to do open up roll 20 or roll 20? Oh wait, we do have the roll 20 function.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Let me just do that.
Yeah, I just find the roll thing usually is pretty easy.
Yeah, rolling 76. Let's see what happens, and hopefully, while we're fighting, we don't just get destroyed by.
It's a /roll 76.
Thank you. /roll 76.
Yeah, where's his little icon on the dash?
Hopefully that's quick.
All right. There it is. Well.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh, sorry, storyteller.
Yeah. So as and one thing I just did, Asher, is I added some things you can click on that has the domains will pop up for you. Yeah, so at this point, yeah, that's it. You're like, no, stop! And then there's a portion of the ceiling sort of opens up and the water, like you're suddenly hit by gigantic gouts of water. If you want to try to escape, it's going to be right now, because it's a god that you're going against, in her cathedral, and you flew inside, which was not the best.
Yeah,
I was like, so you're going into it. It'd be an impossible, like a 25 plus, to try to escape.
Oh well, I just rolled a 30, so what the hell? I'm not rolling necessarily with the same thing, but
yeah, you're all the same.
Stranger things have happened. Right. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the rules now. Yeah, not as many dice. Yeah. Well, I mean, what else can I do but try to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see if I can dodge out of the way of this gushing fountain of death. So I start with 2d6.
Yep.
All right. And now, do I get to apply my background to this at all? Let's see. My background is I am the chiefess of the Berserk Stag. I am the ruler and so.
But that's really good at like swimming your way out of
chief like Berserk Stag stuff. I see. Yeah. Well, in that case, I guess no. Especially since I sent my if I kept my guards with me, I could make a case, but I did not do that.
Yeah. So Chris, in that case,
so Destiny. Yeah. Destiny. Nope. That's a wash. No pun intended. And equipment. I don't think that's. Oh boy. Right. Well, it looks like Scirocco's going to be taking a bath for millennia arts.
Yeah, so
Well,
kind of like One Ring, they have a tendency to find their way out.
yes.
Yeah, so as it kind of comes down, like she might kind of struggle in flight, but it ends up. I guess you'd be able to use 1d6 for the flight to kind of count as equipment, but even that makes it still impossible to do. Is you're drowned underneath the water inside. As Deluvia, this dream that Draco had is drowned underneath the hubris of both the Vacha and the leader of Jagged Heaven.
Not a great combination.
Later on, that will be sort of sunk.
I'm pretty sure it was the hubris of this goddess that did it. No, wait. Wait, if you're an actual god, you can't have hubris. Okay, that's right. Sorry, that's okay. Continue.
Okay. So what we can do then, we can head to back aside, where you're looking. Wait, what happened to the wielder character sheet? What happened? Oh, okay, I screwed up. I see. Let me do this real quick. Duplicate. Cancel. So I think in this case, what we've got is Satel will be the wielder of Klingoffer. Now, it's one of the things we won't worry about now. We get later, but like the goal would be a little more. That'd be like one of the things with the goal, because like the goal should be something that's not to accomplish. But like that would be like a step. But for right now, it doesn't matter too much. Satel. We'll go ahead and make Satel, who's being searched for right now in the forest, the wielder of Klingoffer. Do you want to explain Klingoffer?
So I thought it would be really cool if there was like a wheelchair as a magical item. So it's like a wheelchair of destruction and water. Because I thought I saw somewhere there were pirates, so I thought that's why I added the water as a domain.
Okay, do this real quick. And let me do a sec. I don't remember how to do this right. And let me try this. Okay. Okay. So, how did and I would say, Mike, if you want to add a thing to Satel, like a personality trait.
Oh, I'm playing Satel. Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
The one that's being searched for. All right. And why don't you, Asher, if you want to introduce us to Klingoffer, or if that's pronounced correctly.
Well, that was about it. Like I thought I would develop it more at the beginning, I think, but.
So, is there a set list, or do I add any kind of personality trait I'd like?
Any kind of personality trait.
All right. Let's see.
I was thinking since Centel is like an assassin, it can be part of their disguise. For disguise.
Yeah, Jim, you're unaware of that.
Say, Jim, you haven't had as much. I feel like I've had more wielder time than you this session. Do you have a care to place a tell for me, or shall I proceed?
Oh, proceed. Go right ahead,
Just-
please. I'm like I got to chew the scenery plenty as the Vacha, so
Oh no,
That's a good point. Fair enough.
we're gonna bring those two wielders together. So
but I think
the-
I think we're gonna like because I as the wielder, I'm like kind of plodding through the jungle trying to find you. I think is
Yes.
what's happening, right? Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
it's a way to bring everyone together for this for the like a little end thing.
Okie dokie. In that case, let's make this quick. And
Let me refill my drink real
I'll
quick. Wait,
say
figure that out.
that
Just a sec.
we're gonna say she's I don't know. Let's say flippant. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means specifically as far as like.
While he's grabbing a drink, I'm gonna do the same. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So I'm wielding Klinghofer, the chair of atrocities. Nice. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Oh, they added the links.
Oh, just one point. Michael, are we still adhering to the rule of only of a domain going to only one Vacha at a time? Because I see that water is a domain for Klinghofer as well as.
There can be multiple. It's fine. It's just we had an opportunity to sort of originally try to make it so that we had like 4 people.
Okay.
So yeah, there's going to because eventually,
Cool.
like since I've got the spring musical over the next 2 weeks, we've got like tech and other stuff going on. I'm going to take I think March off, but then like in April. Kind of like this will be kind of a weekly thing where I'll kind of keep bringing it up so people will drop in and out as the world kind of grows, and then these things start to kind of come and go. They become the legends that had happened previously. So yeah, there'll definitely be some overlap. That
Okay.
it's a thing. It'll be fine.
Cool. All
Should I
right.
add goals or anything?
For right now, let's not worry about it because we're just in the last like 45
All
minutes or so. So like we at this point we've got to kind of go a little faster.
All right. Let's do this.
But because like, as far as your goal goes, the thing I would just tell you is at some point, fleshing out the keep the true ruler alive until they're 18 sounds like it'd be one facet of the goal. Like it'd be to keep that true ruler alive for a specific reason.
Okay.
And then there will be things like how do you know someone's a true ruler? What do you have to do? Because the goals you want to have are ones that are difficult to achieve, which is why you haven't done them yet.
Right.
Though at this point we're technically in sort of still the Bronze Age, almost still tribal area of the new age of the world, which is the world is remade each time.
Can we go over what's going on?
So yeah, so we'll say with the thing I sent you. She had the name again. A little up here. Yeah, Satel had been kidnapped by members of sort of a neighboring tribe. Often these kidnappings are like a fairly common kidnapping is to kidnap someone, and it's almost like a rite of courtship, where like the person being kidnapped, it's more of a show of power, a way to show that you've got skill, and it's kind of like oh, you young little bastards, and like someone might get beaten up on their way in, or they might have to beat somebody up to get them out. But like the tribes in this area all kind of it's sort of a wink and a nod. No one actually gets hurt. This is not what happened. 2 people were killed. You were then taken, and what happened next was your father, who's the head of the Hard Hounds tribe, had head of the Hard Hounds tribe had come after you and gone into. There is the Arobia, which is the Monkey Kingdom, which is ruled over by Drasleth, who is the wielder of a different Vacha. And I will say this is one of the things that you'll also discover the Vacha in there. Let me get this here. So you are in the jungle with the kidnappers.
Okay.
And at this point, so is she stuck in the wheelchair or just uses the wheelchair?
I think she's yeah, I think maybe they just tied her in it just to no, we'll say she's stuck in it, sure, why not? Although
Okay.
it does
So
make
is
it,
she
I am curious as to why someone who's stuck in a wheelchair was selected to be someone's mate. Perhaps it was strictly my.
Is she able to walk? Is the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's say in the.
And then this is one, Asher. Also, you're able to have some input too, as far as what you like. Are there certain things that you tend to look for when it comes to wielders? Like, are you someone that finds people who can't walk and then,
I was thinking,
or
since
just whoever?
Satel's an assassin, it could be part of her disguise.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I guess I better be able to walk then.
Okay. So it's one of the things that we'll say this, that Drasleth, you notice at this point as you start kind of like feeling throughout the jungle that there is another Vacha here. And this is the same thing as Asher, you're also able to sense the Vacha that is here. Like basically you kind of have like almost if you're within a certain range of another Vacha, you can kind of tell that they're coming. You don't have like direction sense for it or anything. You just sort of know if one is nearby. And you're also you're able to talk mentally to different Vacha at any time, though you don't necessarily know which one it is, but there's kind of a party line where you can almost just say like, who is in this place? Or like, you actually might even know the name because at least you know, like they've talked about Drasleth, the leader of the Monkey Kingdom, who has the staff, which means there's a pretty good chance you have narrowed down who it could be of the other Vacha.
Okay. So I sense the staff somewhere nearby.
Well, you sense a Vacha, but you know that the leader of the Monkey Kingdom is supposed to have great magical powers and keeps a staff, which will probably bring it down to a handful of possible Vacha. There's probably more than one staff, but you don't know all of them. So at this point, just to double check, we have in the jungles here, we have kind of a weirdness because we have a few people playing multiple roles in the same general scene. So we've got Jim, you're playing Drasleth, who is wielding Mike. Mike is playing the wielder of now that Methesti's dead. Mike is playing the wielder of Klingoffer.
Klingoffer, Chair of Atrocities.
And let's start with Klingoffer and Satel.
Now, my father is the head of the tribe I was kidnapped from, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I've been currently kidnapped by a neighboring tribe. Okay, check. All right, and I'm fully bonded to Klingoffer at this point.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm just trying to figure out what my initial motivation is here. I don't necessarily want to kill my father like right now. Like it might be more of an eventual thing. But maybe this is part of my plan. Just if I hook up with a sufficiently powerful tribe, I could kind of like convince them to attack my tribe and kill my dad. Okay, right, done. All right, so here I am. I'm like, I will say so. Klingoffer. So. How are you doing there, Klingoffer?
Pretty good. How are you? Is it comfortable?
It's fine. Yeah. I'm good. I'm. What do you get? What kind of sense do you get from these people? Do these writers? What's the name of this tribe again?
The Hardhounds is the tribe that you're from.
Oh, they're the Hardhounds. Okay, I'm not. No, I'm from the Hardhound tribe.
Yes.
And these people are from the Hardhound tribe as well?
No,
My
the
kidnappers?
ones got you were from a neighboring tribe. They were from
Oh, okay.
the Poison Hill tribe.
Oh, the Poison Hill tribe. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Klingoffer, what's your take on the metal of these Poison Hill people?
The what?
These Poison Hill people, the ones who have abducted us.
The metal?
Do they? Yeah. Do you think how tough do you think they are? Do you think they could take on my father and his men?
They just seem to have connections, but I don't know that they're so tough by themselves.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting a sense they don't really know what they're doing. I mean, does it seem like they just kind of like ran about willy-nilly, like, you know, they didn't really know what to do once they got a hold of me, or excuse me, once I let them get a hold of me?
Yeah, it wasn't a super organized kidnapping.
Yeah. But they got away with it. I'll give them that.
Yeah, so you're sort of a clearing in the jungle. The four men that have taken you are sitting there and look a little bit nervous.
Oh, I take it this is part of the master plan. I'll say that to the people, to the guys.
Kind of turns and goes, I think so.
You do know we're in the Great Monkey Kingdom.
And they there's the door about the cards right now. The cards will come in if we have to do some tests. Those are sometimes necessary, but not hugely a huge thing. But I'll deal them to you. They're nervous and they're like, they hear that they say that he can hear everything through the jungle.
They also say that he has an army of thorn demons at his command.
I haven't heard of any thorn demons. The hell's a thorn demon?
Oh, you don't even know? Oh boy. I guess that means you don't know about his poison rose ninjas either.
What?
I'm gonna just kind of play with him for a little bit like this.
I like the thorn theme.
Kind of like just making up more and more nonsense to get him worked up, just because it's kind of funny.
Okay. So they're quite nervous. Drasleth, you felt another Vacha enter your kingdom, or rather, your. I don't know if your Vacha's mentioned it, but how are you trying to search for Satel?
I don't need to search because, like, the animals all talk to me.
Okay, so basically,
I think I can talk. At this point, can I talk to animals and plants? Is that what do I got right now? I've got the.
You don't. I thought let me see. That's a good question.
I speak with animals, and
I think I gave you plant talking. Although
okay.
I may, you know what? I think I might want to, because, you know, once you bring up that question, once you even think that question, I think I'll grant you that ability, because I think that would help me. If you could talk to plants, that might help me encourage you to get into the kind of advanced horticulture that I need to get, because I need to get you to develop the Eternity Seed as part of my goals. So
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I figure this might be a good gateway drug into it. So, boom, you got plant 1.
And Asher, to let you know, you may have looked through the book, but with Wield, you can always choose to grant your wielder an ability. When you do, they get some points towards control, which means they start to gain a little bit more control over their Vacha. It starts off with, like, the Vacha has 10 dice, the wielder has none, and if you look at, like, the wielder sheet, you've got, like, if you give someone like a level 3 ability, it would fill 1 in both of the 1s and 2, so they would now have 2 dice of control over the Vacha, while the Vacha has 8 dice of control over the wielder. The more powers you give, the more control the wielder can possibly have over the Vacha, which is what happened in the cathedral when the Vacha tried and failed to stop Mephisti from killing the storyteller.
Storyteller who all he did was go around telling stories about how awesome she was.
I was just told to show up here, man. I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I give her lightning bolts. She uses them to kill people besides the ones I wanted killed. No good. NG. All right. I'm going to I can talk to animals. I can plants can't see and hear, but they can sense thoughts and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just going to all of my followers, all of my cultists are all content and happy to be here. So I'm just going to go looking for this wellspring of anxiety and fear and ill intent that probably festers, that is like a big glowing spot on the map there. And I'm just gonna walk right to there.
Okay. Yeah, the point where you're able to sort of kind of, especially the people that are sort of around her, you do reach that place where you're able to sort of discover where that's at, and kind of make a beeline for it.
Okay, I'm headed there. I am, as I go. I've got that one monkey that I like is still kind of on my shoulder, curled around my tail.
Uh-huh.
Maybe even on my back. Maybe it's even like a monkey. It's on my back.
A monkey
that
on
I
your
can't.
back?
Yeah, giving me things I want. I can't ditch it. But so and I've got the staff, and I'm using my thing where I can gather small animals,
mm-hmm.
and I'm just gathering unto me, just a whirling swarm of bugs and wasps and centipedes and just like a whole bunch of creepy crawly flyy things. Nothing any bigger than a good sized spider, but holy cow, there's a lot of them. I think the monkey's on me.
Mm-hmm.
And the bugs are just kind of all around and sort of swarming through the trees along with me and stuff like that. And when I come upon them, I'm going to have this nice little kind of insect army with me when I arrive.
All right. So do they hear that's the insects first?
Oh, absolutely. I think
so
that's yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So tell Klinghoffer and the others and the four guys with you hear the buzzing and such sort of coming, and it's a massive amount, and probably a weird quiet in parts of the jungle.
Well,
and then noise from another.
Yeah, whatever, all the normal screeching and skittering of the monkeys and the macaws and the bird calls and everything kind of start to fade away. Yeah, and it's silent just for a second, and then the buzzing starts. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
And then you.
I'll ask Klinghoffer. I wasn't right about those Rose Ninja things, was I?
I don't think so. I think it's another watch coming.
Sorry, I have to mention this. Asher, it's you sound and look so much like, except with shorter hair, so much like a music director I've done some shows with. It was super weird. The moment you talked, I was like, Griffin? No.
All right.
Well,
and
I'll ask Klinghoffer. Do you know anything about the? Do you know which Vacha it is?
It's a staff.
You're probably down to a couple. Let's say you've had enough of a description that you know which one it is. You know that it's Eridu.
Okay.
Is Eridu a dick or is he cool? I say that in old timey Iron Age speak, or Bronze Age speak, but the attitude is probably whatever the attitude would convey in Bronze Age
That's
talk.
okay. It's subtitled, so that's cool. Translating it into modern idiomatic English.
Ardu. Oh, I don't know how Ardu could be a dick.
Well, if you would know that you both share the domain of water, you know that much.
Ardu's
Well,
a
especially
That's true.
if you want. 'Cause normally, one of the things we do at the beginning is you kind of go through and you put down like how you have interacted with them in the past. If you two want to sort of decide, because Mike's asking you, but he's also playing the one he's asking you about.
Yeah.
So he's basically going, "Is my other character a dick cool?" I guess Mike, since you have a better idea of what he's like, if you want to kind of give a bit of an idea.
Yeah, he's not particularly he's pretty much goal oriented, I guess is a good way to put it. He's not particularly mean or arrogant.
kind of a hippie.
If anything, I guess you could say he's nostalgic because he wants to recreate the Garden of Paradise, which existed in a prior realm or prior era, and he's really all about that. And he's kind of nurtured. Well, you wouldn't know this, but you basically know what he is. Yeah, he's basically he's pretty he's definitely. I mean, he's. I guess you could characterize him as hippie-ish, but he's not like a dippy peace, love, and happiness thing. He can be. He's not above like wrecking destruction if it's what he needs to do to create. In fact, I think part of his sub goals does entail a fair amount of destruction, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Let's see. He has conflicted with other Vachas before, but he's also worked with other Vachas. He's conflicted with at least one Vacha, but he's also been allied with another one.
Sounds complicated.
So. Yeah, complicated, but also fairly even.
Yeah, well, you're less a.
But also that could make him unpredictable.
Like less a deadhead hippie than an Earth First hippie.
It does sound very jungly though. Like this is a good place.
Yeah.
For the staff.
Yeah, the jungle is all the weirdos idea, but it works. I'm rolling with it. Anyway, that's in a gist. I don't know if that helped, but I think that's what you might know about Aradu. And I guess you can relay that as you will.
All right. So yeah, he is a dick.
I repeat what you just said.
So a gardener god.
Goal oriented.
Sounds like a gardener god, like a garden god. Does that sound right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure how I could work with that, but we'll find out. And even I think at this point, I probably just need to worry about not breathing in, a ton of flies at this point or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'll use water too, like as a shield or something, like shimmering. Because we're in the jungle, so there's a lot of water around.
Sure.
In the air and such.
Were you giving me an ability, or were you just use? No, you can't. I would ask Klinghoffer if you would. You're not going to. I trust you're not going to just let me get devoured by flying. The first thing that came to mind is flying buzzkills, which is a terrible pun, but I'll roll with it.
So how do I give you an ability? I'm not sure.
So all you have to do is, if you look on your sheet, I put a thing where you can actually click and then open up the domains you have.
Right.
All I have to do at some point, just go literally, just tell them I grant you this ability, and then they then have that ability. Now, the higher the level of what you get them, the more possible power they get over you.
Yeah, because I did want to give him something to defend himself. That would be really high level to kill all these things.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's like a ton of power was just given to Mephisti.
Not that it kept him safe, but
yeah, I mean she's drowned at this point, but But I mean, I've definitely seen where like it's usually like the first couple you give isn't that big a deal. It's when you start getting up there, when they start getting more dice than you or close to it, where they can actually start fighting back. If you try to make them do something they don't want to do.
All right. I was looking at like protective wave, so we can like wash all these bugs away if we need to.
Oh, that's a 7. That's a water 7.
Yeah. Because all the other ones you need water around, and we don't have like a pool or anything, so that wouldn't really work.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
1 mile. Wow. So yeah, you have the bugs and stuff sort of coming. You have this ability that's available to you. So I would say, Draslith, what are you doing? Jim?
Looks like
Sorry, I'm chewing. Is what I'm
sorry.
doing. No. Like we got through that just a tiny bit quicker than I thought we were going to. So yeah, I've got my army of insects, and I'm just coming on whatever this camp is or whatever, and whoever these dudes are.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, I just kind of like literally like, like the ferns just sort of part of their own volition. And I step through into the clearing where they're gathered, and they just sort of, they sort of close behind me. I say, hello. Who are you and why have you come here? Your shirts are made out of steel.
Probably technically bronze at this point. We're still sort of Bronze Age.
Bronze.
It's still early. But yeah.
Your shirts are of bronze. That's not allowed here. Why are you here? Did you think that you could do some sort of mayhem out in the world and then flee?
And the 4 guys sort of with you, it's like,
flee here and be safe?
what do we do?
I think I'd like to, if it's possible for me to interrupt what they're about to do, I'm gonna go ahead and just like, I'm gonna try. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to like. Can I go ahead and deploy my new power to summon a wave to just like push all the guards away from me?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Satel does that.
Just the guards.
Just the just the guards. As far away as possible, because I think
a mile away.
Sure, that sounds good. Why not? Yeah, because and once I do that, Satel will kind of exclaim in a kind of a panicked voice that you have to say, I need protection from my father.
I don't know.
Can you help me, please?
Klingoffer and Eridu are also able to speak to each other. At any point, like they can kind of do that without anybody else noticing. Just to keep in mind.
Yeah, and so there's this wave of water like comes in and just like blows these guys out of here.
Mm-hmm. It almost just like coalesces from the air.
Exactly. Yeah, and I just kind of stand there and watch it all happen. And I just kind of cock my head. And after that thing she says about protecting from my father, I say, it doesn't seem like you need protection from anyone.
In the meantime, Eridu will introduce himself to Klingoffer. I am Eridu. Am I aware of who Klingoffer is? Generally?
You're all aware. There's only a handful of. I mean, the Vacha probably number about 100 or so. You're all
Okay.
aware of each other.
So a
You've
long
been
time
through
no see.
several reconstructions of the world.
Yes, I take it this young lass is your current atrocity.
That she is.
Curious. I'm curious what you see in her, but it's a curious vessel you've chosen for yourself.
Who's your vessel?
He's my new gardener. I make it sound like I just hired someone to mow my lawn, but in a way, that's kind of who he is. In
So
the
awesome.
of things.
So cool.
Yes, this is anyway. Since I don't, I think I'm going to be a little guarded because I and perhaps even you don't know what your ultimate goals are, since I know you're just creating this character on the fly. But I see. Yeah, I guess I think at this point Erity just wants to see how the two wielders bounce off one another, just to see if he needs to if it seems like his grand scheme can be endangered in any sort of way. And I don't know how Klinghoffer is going to approach this as well, but
Yeah, it seems like we have similar thing. Like we both have water, and a lot of your goals are about washing things and planting and
yeah.
nurturing.
Well, I will say as long as you're not here to interfere with my plans, I welcome you into my garden. He says specifically, but in the meantime, I know Satel was just asked a question, so she will say, I'll yeah, when Drasleth says that she clearly doesn't need protection, she'll say, "You don't know my father. I just have to. I haven't always been able to do this, and I just need to get away from him.
Well,
Trust me, he's a monster." And that's what she says.
And I I just shake my head dismissively, and I say, anyone who's a monster out there is a mouse here. You are safe. If you want to stay here, you can stay for as long as you like. That's the way it is. What is your chair of wheels?
Satel just gasps a sigh of relief and hugs Drasleth and says, thank you so much," and hugs tightly, and ignores the question, but it tries to play it off like she was just so overwhelmed with relief that she perhaps she didn't register.
You are hugging someone who is not at all used to being hugged.
Oh, okay. How do you react?
Does not know, he's just like you do the thing where you grab him and hug, whatever, press your head against his cheek or whatever, and he just kind of does one of these all right. I'm not sure I'm not sure how long this is going to last, and then when you finally let go, he kind of nods and says, and then he kneels down and says, can you walk?
Oh yes, this is just, oh yes, yes I can. This is my chair. It's simply a conveyance. It's a convenience. What can I say? And she sounds a little embarrassed by that, because I kind of envisioned that this person might have just been, as the sole child of a big tribe leader. Maybe she was a little spoiled and was just accustomed to being carted around at whim. But yeah, even though it looks like something that would be more of a necessity kind of wheelchair thing rather than a thing of convenience, but that's how she explains it.
Well, you're safe here. Your father can't enter the. If your father enters the jungle again, he he has trespassed once. He knows not to do it again. I promised him that I would return you, but if you do not wish to be returned, I will not return you.
Yeah. Satel just thanks you and asks if we can go away somewhere before her father's men find her again.
I don't think you understand. He won't find you unless I allow it. That's the nature of this place.
I see.
Are you safe?
I am now. Meanwhile,
do
Erdu asks Kling. Oh, sorry, Michael.
Go ahead.
Erdu is going to ask Klinghoffer if what's she on about?
What's she on about? That we were kidnapped, right? So,
And she couldn't have stopped that before.
well, we didn't want it to be suspicious.
Oh, I see. Of course. Well, she isn't going to be. She isn't going to be distracting, is she?
Distracting. I don't know what you're doing, so I can't say what it'll be distracting.
Eridu simply says that my vessel. I know they're. Yeah, I don't think I feel like Avacha would refer to a wielder as a wielder because that kind of implies a degree of control over the Vacha, which the Vacha.
I think the wielder might work simply because you have to be wielded to be used.
Okay.
Like your power, you can't use your powers yourself. You have to go through someone else. So I think it's probably a wielder is probably a fairly common phrase because it just says the thing that you need to use your powers.
Okay, like it's so obvious from one Vacha to another. It's not even worth dancing around the elephant in the room, as it were, that we can't do anything on our own. Fair enough. Yeah. So my wielder is about my business, and I just don't need my wielder getting distracted.
All right. Well,
and as I can see, your wielder is, I can imagine, quite distracting to many immortal.
Distracting is one way to put it.
Well, you are welcome to stay here. There is whatever food you need. It's here. I don't think I'm needed here anymore. You're safe, yes?
Well, yes. Is it just you and me here? And of course the monkeys.
Probably knocked away.
I shrug like I don't understand the question.
Oh, are we the only people in this land? The humans, as it were.
Well, no. He would know that there's the cult and such. Or she would
cult.
No,
okay.
she could be saying that not knowing.
Yeah.
No, there are
of course, your followers.
Yes. Yeah, the folk, the green folk are here, living off the land. They have come to realize that strife, conflict, these things are unnecessary.
Unnecessary, huh?
They happen, but they're not necessary. People are so, they need to be expedient. They need things to happen right away. This is not, it's not necessary.
Well, perhaps at least for tonight, may I take refuge with you and your people?
And I nod. And I say, Eridu.
Yes. Yes.
Surely there is some means of assuring our safety for the night.
The night is only one night, and nights are what is one night to one such as myself.
So do I, as a wielder, do I kind of have some sense of what some of the powers are, or
No, only what you're granted.
no? Got it. Okay, only what I'm granted. All right. Then I shrug and I say, the jungle provides us with everything we need: shelter, food, comfort. The animals will bring us what we need.
But surely there are other things such as company and companionship.
The jungle, the jungle provides that, and I kind of make a gesture, and there's like monkeys and bugs and little animals all around and stuff like this, and I'm like, I'm only alone when I wish it.
Oh, but Tragel, we don't all have the same blessing of being able to converse with the beasts of the land, such as the way you can. We are limited to the company of others like ourselves. So, mere people such as I, who don't have the gift of the garden as you do.
I wish I knew. I don't. The only way I can share it with you is the way that I share it with everyone who comes here. Partake.
Well, I happily accept that then, and thank you for it.
Then partake. Be safe. And when you are ready to leave, think thoughts of home. The plants will tell me, and I will ease your way.
Interesting.
But until then, you are welcome to stay here.
Thank you so much. Asher, do you have I don't know if you've had time to think a little bit more about what Klinghoffer's ultimate goals are.
I'm not sure what they could be. Right now. I'm just thinking about protection, right? Trying to protect people, because that was the goal I had there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just trying to think if there's anything that if there are any goals that he could be telling.
Yeah, I would say unfortunately we're getting towards the place where we've got to stop relatively here soon, because I get up at 5:45.
Oh yeah.
In the morning, and it's 10 and a little while before I can usually crash. Do we want to call it a sort of end here for the night, or
I feel like we're in a good
last things people want to do? Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Kind of just like a logical scene end where, literally, I think my character as the wielder is like, okay, you're good. You got all the food you need. Animals to keep you company. I'm out. Just literally just disappears into the jungle, leaving her there in her wheelchair in the middle of the jungle. Because whatever, he's like, yeah, we're cool. It'll all provide for everybody. And that's that kind of a little bit of that, like I said, that nihilistic streak where it's like, well, it'll happen or it won't, and everybody should be cool because we've got it. We've got what we need. So
I have an idea for how we can end this. Then I think it'll be at this point after Drazlith departs that Satel realizes she has no one to cart her around anymore, and then she curses and then picks up Klinghoffer and just starts pushing it through the jungle. Which is certainly her viewpoint beneath her, but that's where her rash action has left herself.
That's awesome.
Okay, I guess. Do you want to do a debrief?
Yeah, we can.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can make it as long as it's quick, because like you, I'm pretty tired
Yeah, we'll go
myself.
relatively quick.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious because one thing I sent to them as a whisper was that my original idea was Satel was hired to try to kill Drasleth
Oh,
because of the power and such, and partly to show that wielders wielders are not necessarily hugely vulnerable, but they can be in the right situations. And it was one where I didn't know if a death would happen or not, but at least to kind of show that that's a possibility. I did mention you've been paid to try to kill Dressler. I was curious.
did I miss that?
Oh, did you miss that in the Whispers?
Whispers.
I almost just said it out loud, but it was one of those things where I originally kind of wanted it to be a bit of a surprise, particularly for Dressler. But the Whispers is the main thing. Did you not get a thing that popped up?
I did not see that, I'm afraid. Is that, let me...
Yeah, Asher, did you get those as well? It should be in the chat.
I didn't see it.
On Roll20?
Is this... Oh, this is the Roll20 thing?
Roll20 chat?
Ooh, I'm not seeing any Whispers.
I didn't see that.
Okay,
I have to confess, I have to confess, I'm not a really super proficient Roll20 user.
It's weird, because it should just be in the chat, because literally I've got, to Michael and Asher, she's been paid to try to kill Drasleth.
Oh, okay.
And then to Asher, to both of you, it's all been staged so far. And then originally was going to have her kill the 4 men before they found her. Because my thought was, I thought about cutting back during that, but I didn't because of what was happening there. So I was going to try to get a good climax with either the death of her or the death of, depending on how it went, but the death of Drasleth or her. You didn't get those messages, so you were probably much more confused.
Yeah, well, I did get the messages appeared, but I wasn't really paying attention to the scroll bar, and I didn't hear any kind of oral cue to indicate that I just got a whisper.
Ding or anything like that. Yeah,
that's weird. Okay.
So I'm really sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry. I mentioned a little something, but it wasn't particularly clear because I didn't want to make it totally open. So yeah, I was like,
right.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I was
leave you.
Yeah,
I did not leave you a little bit searching at the end.
Playing for is I was playing off my destiny of wanting, and again I know this is necessarily a conscious motivation on the Wielder's part, but I saw since their destiny was to kill her father, I was thinking maybe she had to maneuver herself to get kidnapped by the neighboring tribe, thinking that maybe they could help her out. But then when they ended up being a bunch of buffoons, she realized they weren't going to be any help. And I kind of started role-playing her, trying to maybe try to convince / seduce whatever it takes sort of Drasleth into turning against my father, which is why she started talking about, her father being a monster and stuff. So unfortunately, that's... Yes, I'm sorry.
And I totally, and I kind of thought that was the direction that it was going, and I kind of like Drasleth being just completely clueless, because he has not grown up around people at all, and has no idea how to read any of those cues or anything like that, and so I thought that was kind of a fun little bit that seemed to be starting to develop there.
Yeah, you probably were waiting for me to I don't know, either pick a fight with you or start picking nits off you or do whatever monkeys do when they
exactly. Yes.
Start yelling at you until someone asserts dominance and
little grooming or something. Yeah.
You kept seeming like you were about to spring something too, so that was the thing. I kept okay, now, nope, not now.
No, sorry.
That's more interesting.
Well, now I've learned something important about Roll20.
So those did show up. They didn't blink or do anything.
No blinking, no flashing or beeping
weird.
And I haven't looked at this since I rolled that control conflict.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right, well now I know.
But if we have another couple of 3 sessions, that's actually a great meet cute.
Right.
The way that went down.
Yeah, I'd be curious about how the next jump in time would play out from here, but I guess we'll have to worry about that next week.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be one. I'll be putting up some other ones probably in March because I won't be able to over the next couple of weeks.
All right, that's right. This is the last session.
Yeah, because I've got the musical over the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Huh.
So
Well, yeah, in that case, we're definitely better.
March isn't far.
Rebel.
how was it for you switching back and forth between the Vacha and the Wielders?
In my experience, I mean, it was a little weird at first, but I feel like I got the hang of it. I think the important thing was knowing when to switch off between. I think the most important thing for me was knowing when to switch off between Jim and Asher. Make sure I, because I knew no matter what was going on, I was going to be involved somehow. So I just wanted to, I was trying to work out like natural jumping points where, when I'm playing Satel, I'm thinking, oh, what would Ardu be thinking? And he'd probably want to talk to Klinghoffer, and then I'd bounce back and forth that way. But it wasn't horrible. And in fact, that's one of the really fun things about this game is that kind of challenge. I don't know of any other role-playing games there. Something like that is even a possibility. We're playing different characters in the same scene. So, and I know, Jim, you did that in the first session. You had that kind of a similar situation.
Yeah, because I think that one of the things I said after the first session was that I was initially, and I don't know whether you felt any of this in this session, Mike, but I was initially worried that nothing is more boring than hearing somebody have a conversation with themselves playing two different characters. But because you're playing a wielder and a different Vacha who are not connected, and the Vacha can't talk directly to the other wielders, they can only talk to the other Vacha. It worked out. It was fine because there was never a point where you were having a conversation with yourself because you were going back and forth. The only the only thing for me that first session when I was doing that, I felt a little guilty because it was I'm getting twice the spotlight time that everyone else is.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge was remembering my character. Oh yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me was remembering that my two characters had two different motivations, and once I remembered that, then
it's the swap in the personalities on the fly. That's the acting challenge there. So
yeah, and coming up, and also just since I'm running Satel for the first time, just getting my head around what her motivation. Since I hadn't noticed the clearly handed.
I'm sure that was much more confusing because originally it's okay, what I like to do is throw out some threads, let the players do their thing, but I get to a point where I'm okay, I need to start trying to get it towards at least a climax for a good ending, and then having to hand that off. And I mean, it's probably weird for you, Asher, coming in because you came in at a point where we couldn't really slot you in that scene because we were kind of right at the end. And so you didn't get a chance to sort of play with both ends of what Wield does.
It's all right. I thought it would be a lot less complicated too, so that was interesting. Because I saw a different game where you play a kid and their imaginary creature.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard
monsters
and other childish things.
Yeah. So this was interesting because it's a whole world, that you're building here. So that was really cool.
And so that's how I'm choosing to do it.
It's also a lot more of a challenge if you weren't in on that initial microscope session that we all did together.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike and Michael and I all have it internalized because we built it all together as a cooperative thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were at the disadvantage of you had to read a bunch of pages of stuff and you didn't know the map and all that kind of thing. And so that microscope session at the beginning was really cool to kind of give us all some grounding in what was going on.
Yeah,
but definitely makes it really tough for anybody else to jump in the in a second or third session of it.
Well, my plan for later, for other things, we got people who haven't been a part of it, is mostly to just say this is about where we're at. 'Cause, the microscope section, most those can be and those can be kind of filled in, but it's mostly here's where we kind of finished the first bookend.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we actually kind of did. Yeah,
and then it's
pretty much right. This is exactly where we got. Yeah.
Having someone look and say these are the things that are supposed to happen, and that's even I think kind of more gravy of you screwed this up. This can't happen now. Deluvia would have been that was the only thing I was this has to happen because it's part of your goal.
Yeah,
so
And the fact that it was my arrogance that got it sunk in the first place was just totally, or Shirako's arrogance, like, was just perfect. It was like, God, schmods, whatever. If you're everywhere, then you're nowhere.
I've been hoping to have more, like another section to build up to Lufia more, but we had limited time.
Yeah, like, this is the life gets in the way thing.
Yeah.
If it were an ongoing campaign, we just go, oh yeah, we skipped a week and we move on to the next one. But it was, I was sad that I missed last time. But flights come in when they come in. So and you gotta be at the airport when they get there. So, but this was a lot of fun. Asher, nice to meet you. I'm sorry we only got to game together for an hour.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do it again in a month or so.
Yeah, we got lots of gauntlet stuff on the horizon here. So
I'll probably putting that stuff up soon. It'll probably starting in April, and then it'll kind of be just a thing I'm probably doing every Tuesday outside of when I'm doing shows.
Cool.
And usually I know far enough ahead that I can make sure there'll be some skipping, but see where our microscope takes, and we end up having to add some more stuff to it.
Awesome. This was a lot of fun.
I had a lot
of fun, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks again, everyone. You've all been good gamers. I'm looking forward to more.
Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
See y'all.